Yen,
Hey,
this is a whole new angle. What's up?
whole new angle?
Yeah, it's a different camera angle.
Yeah, I connected via my iMac, and
Oh,
and
got it.
today I'm prepared for so that
Nice,
you can hear me properly.
nice.
Perfect.
I'm glad to hear it.
Mhm.
Joseph, Karen, what's up? What's up, you
Hello,
guys?
guys. How are you doing?
Good, good.
What's going on?
We're
Oh,
chilling today. We're gonna be going over some really cool stuff. We'll just wait a couple minutes for people to join. Karen, did you get a chance to look at the recording for yesterday?
of course, yes, I did. I did. It was really quick, so thank you for that. When I saw it, I was like, oh, perfect. So yes, I'm on the track now.
Nice. Glad to hear it.
Alright.
Microphone check. Can you hear me?
Make a post about
I
it.
can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Oh, now you're not gonna share screen? Why?
I'm gonna
Yeah, I
share my
am fun.
screen. Oh, you mean like, yeah.
Like
It's
you want
funny,
your own
like on
space, all right?
yeah. It's funny on my screen we're both on the bottom, so it just looks like it's perfectly
Oh yeah.
like a line.
All right.
You gotta make it fun. Guys, we're making the announcement for this call so people can join.
Yeah.
What's something funny we could say?
Yes, like what surprises do you have, Ray?
What surprises?
Yes, are you gonna have for today?
Hmm. Yeah, that's a good one. Let's do that. We got some big surprises.
Oh,
And then the eggplant emoji.
Like, well, guys, you're gonna see this recording, so we're waiting for you.
yeah. Um, yeah.
Do it, go for it. Just get him in. Get him in. Come on, go for it, go for it.
No,
You got it.
no.
Go for it, dude.
I'm
Why?
not gonna waste the email. Alright. Well, either way, we can go ahead and get started in like a minute or so.
It's a good icebreaker. What's your guys' favorite fruit? Yeah, and you go first.
My favorite fruit is, I would say, apple, but I'm doing a low carb diet at present. So, blueberries. I can eat blueberries or strawberries.
Nice. Those are some good
Yours?
ones. Like top three. I would say pineapple is definitely up there. Love pineapple. Definitely blueberries as well. That's probably my top two. And then bananas. Those are good fruits.
And what about this, like the weird or stranger combination that you have been done with fruit? Like, for
I'm sorry?
example, pineapple and tahini. That's a
Oh,
good one.
oh, got you. No, that is a good one. Jeez. Man, I'm not good at like combining fruits with stuff. I think.
Uh,
Oh no,
You're
no, go ahead.
missing a lot.
Yeah. Sometimes when I cook, I use sweet fruits in salty foods. So, for example, uh, apple in salad, uh, or orange in uh, orange in Thai. I think I did Thai style um, Thai style food, and I put some sweet fruit in it. Yeah,
Mm.
and I have a weird experience from the supermarket this week. I was buying avocado, and I went to the uh, automatic uh, cashier, and I couldn't find in the list of vegetables avocado, and then I found it in fruit. So you, do
You
you
found out?
consider do
Yeah,
you
it's
consider sweet
totally
fruit?
free.
I didn't
Yeah,
know. I thought it vegetables.
All right.
it's funny. Joseph, what's your favorite fruit?
Pears.
Pears. Wow,
Interesting.
he had that locked in. He knew which one it was.
You guys are missing out on Colombian fruits though. They're some of the
Yeah.
best. Like lulo, maracuja,
Yeah,
guanábana,
Lulo. How do you say Lulo
llama.
in English? I think you never find that one. Like Lulu. You know what is Lulo? Yeah, yeah.
No, looks like
And
a
it's
weird
so
orange.
good, and it's so good in like juices and stuff with it. It's so good.
Yeah, and it's like sour, but it's like, oh my god, so good. And it's
So
yeah, when I was there, I was like, there's no Lulo there. Like the
so much
passion fruit,
I didn't.
the
was.
purple passion fruit.
I didn't even know this existed.
There's a
This is
ton
so
of
crazy.
Yeah,
fruits in Colombia. Never seen. Here, wait, let me hold on. Like this is actually so good.
Big
Like,
my camera now.
like lulo. Why is your thing so slow? Your tracker. I really
look for
like.
Chantaduro. Ah.
I can't spell. Oh my goodness. Well, no.
Well,
Look at this one.
and
What
that
is
one
that?
is really creamy, like sweet, creamy, really good.
Yeah, it's so good. And then I also really like these.
Oh,
These are
fake like
these are really good.
Got you really hyped up for
for a
that. Okay.
smoothie, like creamy. That one's really good.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
All right. So today we are going to be talking about SOPs. Give it 1
Are we
second.
sharing the other screen first?
Yeah, I guess we could share that one. Yeah, we'll share that one. Sounds he really wants to show this font that he made.
You're the one that taught me how to use it. But yeah.
He was
Okay.
so excited. So today we're going to be talking about SOPs. These are standard operating procedures. A lot of operators, when they join an organization, it's kind of expected that that's what they'll do, is they'll create these systems in place. And it's also something that a lot of beginner operators mess up with because they think they need an SOP for everything, when the reality is you need to focus on the team, having a team that can make decisions on their own, which is our next topic for tomorrow. But today we're just going to talk about how to create an efficient SOP, and why they're important, and just how to make it amazing, and then give you some templates to run with afterwards. So I'm going to switch my screen again. So when you're in Captivate, you might have noticed we have the Rainbow Blitz. Excuse me, Goosify. Okay. So this Rainbow Blitz is a monthly challenge. It's 14 days of just pure business focused actions, where you're in a team of 4. and you got to do an action every single day, at least one action to push your business forward. Now, that can get super confusing for a lot of people. So we created an SOP. And this entire SOP is like a 9-page document. It's kind of long, but it just is for full detail on how to go through through the blitz if you need it. Now, we don't give it to everyone and make sure they read it, but we just have it in case they're confused and they need more info. So this is actually not even like a internal SOP, but for our members when we're going through the blitz. But I still thought it was really cool to show. Also, welcome. That's a new name, Mewi. How's it going? Am I saying that right?
Hello, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, community. I'm new here, and I want to learn. I found about this community, this school in general, 2 weeks ago, and I attend to this community now. And I am a learner. I learn English. I don't know English very well, but I understand you, and I hope I don't bother you here.
No, you're all good. This is great. I'm glad you joined.
I am a priest from Romania. I don't know if you heard about Romania. I am
Yeah.
an Orthodox priest. I live in a monastery, and in monastery we don't get married, never.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we are like you, if you know about Buddhist monks,
Yeah.
that in orange.
Whoa.
In Asia, Japan. Yes.
Awesome. So what are you doing on school?
I intend to launch a community here, and but I studied the platform, and in future, if people will be interested in communicating, discuss about spiritual things, about scripture, about Bible, this is what I intend to do, to create a community with something spiritual things based on Bible, Old Testament, New Testament. If you heard about Adam and Eve, about Abraham, about Jesus Christ.
Dude,
So
that's bad. You are so much cooler than me. You live on a monastery?
thank you. And I'm very happy to know you, to meet new people and to socialize. I'm very happy. I'm 39 years old, and I encounter yet here already many people, many beautiful people, and as you guys, you are very young here, and I am happy to be among teenagers.
Close enough.
Nice, thank you. Nice to meet you as well.
Nice to
You're
meet you,
from
Karen.
Colombia. You're like
Santiago,
on the other
Yahia, Nicolas,
So how do we
Jen,
say your
Rhoda.
name? Is it Matt?
No, this is the name of this. How I put this here, but my name is Evdokim. Evdokim is a Greek name and means goodwill.
Dude, this guy's so
Yeah.
cool.
Wow, amazing.
It's like a
Wow.
movie.
Yes, and behind me is Saint Spiridon. If you heard about saints, he lived in third century, and he was on a great council over the world in that time. And I don't know how to say. It's very important for us what he did in that century. Saint Spiridon from Greece.
Interesting, dude. I'm so tempted to just have this call be about you. Like, there's so much to unpack here.
Thank
But
you.
Joseph's gonna be 39. He said in April. Same birthday. It's pretty cool. So yeah, pleasure to meet you, Abdikim. Nice to have you here.
Me too, yeah.
Yeah, Thank you. In this call, we are going through what it means to be an operator. So basically, in business, there are usually two main roles at the top. So there's the CEO, right? Most people know what that is. Just the creator on school. This is the person that's in front. He's the front-facing person of the business. So he's on all the ads and the video. He, she, them. They're on all the ads, all the videos. Doing all the content. They're the celebrity. And then there's an operator who's behind the scenes, taking care of the day-to-day operations. And does anyone know what's the biggest thing that the operator does?
Save time to the owner.
Saves the owner as much time as possible.
That's possible.
You guys are learning. This is awesome. Does that make sense, Azuki?
Yes. So the owner is Ted, no? Or I don't know.
He's what? He's what?
I don't know. The owner of this community is the CEO. CEO.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we call that a creator. CEO, creator, same thing. So yeah, so these calls are to help people learn how to be an operator and then connect them with other creators so that they can go out and do cool stuff, make a ton of money, etc. So today we're talking about what an SOP is. It's a standard operating procedure, and basically it just helps keep your business organized. So right now I'm going through an example of an SOP that we've created before, and from there we're gonna use that to create an SOP template, an SOP of an SOP, and yeah, so that's what this call is going to be about. So as you notice, this is the Blitz team SOP for Rainbow Blitz, which is again a 14-day challenge where you do as many actions for your business. And you'll notice that these are grouped into different categories. So there's the introduction, there's finding a team, being a part of it, there's some to-dos, etc. Again, this is a very in-depth SOP. For a lot of SOPs, especially on school, you don't need to go this in-depth. But again, I just wanted to make sure it was as dense as possible so that if someone wanted to learn everything they needed to know about the Blitz, then they could go here. So introduction, I think, is super important for an SOP because if someone new goes into the business, they're going to want to know the context for why this exists. Well, number one, what it's teaching you. Number two, why you need an SOP for this. And number three, like what you'll be able to accomplish by reading this SOP. So as you can see, there's some context for the Blitz. Cursor's really weird. Okay, I can't highlight that, but welcome to the Rainbow Blitz. This is a 14-day team challenge, as I was saying. And then this SOP is a guide to help you throughout the challenge. And then this is a reference to look back on for answers and resources, etc. And so finding a team, we don't have to go through detail on every single section, but as you can notice, it's in kind of a timeline. So finding a team, and then once you found a team, you're on the team and you're figuring out how to be a part of the team with different roles. And then and then once you've found your team and you know how you're going to be a part of the team, now you're looking how to win the Blitz. It's pretty straightforward. And then I usually put FAQs and then a little closing just to thank people for reading. So now, what do you guys feel like you would want an SOP for? Is there anything specific on the top of your head that you're like, man, I wish I could create a document to just go through detail?
You mean create me as an operator, or from you for us concerning operating?
For anything, just any type of SOP, because what we're going to do right now is we're going to create an SOP together. So we've got the SOP right here. It's an SOP for an SOP. And so, oh, actually, I guess it's pretty self-explanatory. That was a bad question. My bad. So SOP for an SOP, we're going to create an SOP on how to create SOPs.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
A
Okay.
daily structure, maybe.
I'm sorry?
Daily structure of work of an
Mm.
operator.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So we're going to go through like the main points that I outlined, like for the Blitz team SOP, and then we're going to go through what specific things you think an operator would need to know on this SOP. Sound good?
Got it.
Good. All right. So what do you think is like the first thing we need for, and this is just an outline, it's not going to be like a full SOP, but what do you think the first thing we would need is?
The topic.
Well, we have the topic. It's the, say that again?
As Nicholas, as he says, I will think the same, like the objective, like the goal to achieve.
Right. And that would be like a part of the introduction. So in the introduction, you're going to go through like the objective, right? You're going to talk about why this is needed. Why this is needed. Some context. So like some background as to what brought you to make this. And then what you'll get out of it. And then once we're past like the introduction, actually, yeah. So I'll just open it up to you guys. Like, what topics are you struggling with the most as an operator? Or I mean, you guys aren't operators yet, but like, what would you feel like you need to know?
I think sometimes it's like to get on the same line with the owner, like what is thinking to do next. Like for example, are you gonna do, for example, an event and you're gonna create a group, but you want to bring that people to the community. What are you looking? They find specific, or like what is the goal? If for example in our case, because we bring too many activations from different communities, and at the end we bring them together, but it's like what you want in a specific, like we achieve when they join, like any kind of message or something, like to get them engaged in the community.
Right. Okay. So, man, I'm like
Yeah,
confused.
so actually like a lot but something like that, like to get like aligned with the owner, like the next steps he's gonna do.
Got it. Okay. So get aligned with the owner, with the creator. Okay. So you've got like your strategy down with the owner. To talk, sitting down to talk with them about priorities, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then what else did you say?
Maybe in any kind of activities, like for example like this one we do any, yeah,
Daily activities?
or not daily, but like for example a welcome activity, like onboarding activity, something like that.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Responsibilities, I would suggest.
Talking responsibilities. That's a good one. Activities. Priorities / activities. Okay. Also, welcome, Mignon. Nice to see you. So what do we do before we get to the creator? Before we find the creator, what are we trying to do?
We try to find them.
We're trying to find them. There you go. Find a creator. So,
Oh yeah.
it's pretty self-explanatory. There's not much. Ceci, why don't you take it from here?
Yeah. So, yeah. I feel like something important as well that we kind of jumped over in a sense is,
Yeah.
what's the purpose? Sorry, what was that? There's like some background noise.
It's from Karen's mic.
Yeah.
So
Sorry. No, you're fine. And it's like, what are we trying to accomplish with these SOPs? Like, for example, me up until now, with my operating journey, with my creator and everything, for the most part, it's just been me doing the things, because at the end of the day, you need to understand the process that you go through for each step in the business in order to know how everything works, to then go ahead and create these SOPs. And so now that I'm going to start, building the team and everything, I'm actually currently in the process of creating those SOPs for my team, because at the end of the day, I create these SOPs so that I can then delegate the task, have new people onboarded and understand how things work, how we go about doing things. And of course, the SOPs will probably be constantly changing as we develop our systems and how we do things. And so, for example, let's say I'm about to have a launch. I have a couple closers that I'm hiring, for example. And so it's like, okay, I'm going to want to have an SOP to show them, okay, this is exactly how I do things, how we do things within the organization, and have them be able to go through that, understand it, and replicate those systems and processes while they're doing things themselves. And so that's why they're so important, because if you just hire a closer or someone else, for another position, and you're just like kind of hope or expect them to know how they should go about doing things, then it's going to be, a bit tough for them to properly carry out the tasks, and for you to be happy with their work if you don't give them any guidance to show them, okay, this is how we're doing things, so that then they can go ahead and do it themselves. And so with that example, and as Yaya was saying as well, we want to also keep these like generally as simple as possible, while transmitting all of the important information, of course. And we want to focus on those SOPs that we really need. And so that's why it was good how Yaya was asking you guys, like, what do you think that you would need or want to delegate in order to know what type of SOPs to create? In my case, it is one of those, like having an SOP for the sales team, for the closers, having an SOP for community management. It can be as simple as, every day we go through these things, we do this and that, we make a post about this or this other thing. And so what do you guys currently feel like that is? So like if you were to delegate something and you need someone to know how to do it, what would that be?
maybe when we send the DM, when for the people who reply, like how to start, like what info to get from them, like how to drive that people that reply to those DMs as soon as they join, because
Yeah,
not all of them reply back, but with those that do that, like okay, I mean, they took the time to reply, so how we can drive to them, like,
yeah, this is really good. And something I'll add on as well, and we'll probably, talk about this a bit more in the following ones where we talk a bit more about the team. It's also automating for things. For example, for DMs and like follow-up messages, sometimes they can be automated in certain, cases and everything. And so first, I always look at automation and then delegation, and then that's where we go into creating the SOPs. And so, for example, what I always like to do when starting to create an SOP, it's like, okay, the introduction is super important so that, you know, we know what everything's about. And then, you know, finding a creator and getting aligned is pretty straightforward. You know, you guys have to be on the same page in order to know what to do forward. But then it's like finding whether that be a problem in itself that you need to solve, or finding what it is that you need the SOP for in a way. And so generally, it'll be either like problem / roadblock, or simply, you know, something that needs delegation in a way. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And
perfect.
so here, Jesus font. Okay. And then essentially what you do here is like, Jesus, formatting is going. Okay. And so essentially it's what I was just going over. And so it's like, okay, in my case, it's like, okay, for example, I'm traveling a bit, I was a bit limited, working on lots of projects, and let's say we have a launch coming up with my creator, I'm not going to be able to take all the sales calls. And so it's like, I need to, that's me identifying, you know, a bit of a limitation that we have, or something that we know that we need to delegate or pass on to someone else. And so I need to identify what that is specifically. And so yeah, just identify the needs of the business. And this will be generally, again, in terms of like delegation. And so generally a good way of looking at this is with those roadblocks of being like, okay, why are we not able to, for example, make more money right now? And so it's like, okay, we aren't able to make more money because we aren't able to make more sales. And then it's like, okay, why aren't we able to make more sales? And it's like, well, we can't make more sales because, and this is, you know, imagining that we already have a perfect system where we get tons of calls. And so it's like, well, we can only take 5 calls per day. It's like, okay, why can we only take 5 calls per day? Oh, it's that, you know, our closer schedule can only handle 5 calls per day. And it's like, okay, well, how can we improve that so that we're able to take more calls? And it's like, well, if we get another closer, then we can have 2 people, for example, taking 5 calls per day, and that way we'll solve the issue. And so I always like going into that of like, okay, what is the problem? What is causing the problem? And then in a way, like, how can it be solved? And again, I always tend to look at this in a sense of like looking at the issue in itself, but then, you know, what's the best way of going about it? Is it like an automation, something that we can automate, or does it need delegation? For SOPs, generally it's going to be, you know, something that you delegate. And so it's like, okay, once we find the issue, and so it's like, okay, we aren't able to take all the sales calls that we need. And so it's like, okay, well then how do we actually go about you know, doing all the steps to solve it? And so I will go, and it's like, okay, I need to break down everything that this role or this person does, so that I can then, you know, if I'm delegating it to someone else or adding someone to the team, so that they're able to replicate it. And so it'll be, how should I word this? Like, break down the steps in a way. And so this is going to be, why is it so big? Okay, hold on. All right. Bro, what? Okay, that's fine. What size is this? Okay. And so in these steps, you want to be like, okay, what is the first thing that the closer needs to do, or that I would need this person to know or understand? And so, for example, again, for this like closer example, I would definitely have people, you know, one, watch all the recordings of me closing sales for the offer, And so that would be something, kind of included separately within the SOP. But in terms of the steps in itself, it's going to be like, okay, maybe even like listing the resources beforehand. And so it's like, in this case, it would be any scripts or any like training recordings, so that they get an idea of what's there. And then jumping into the steps, it's like, okay, what do I usually do before the call or something? And this is going to depend. This seems more like SOP for operators rather than SOP of SOPs. I mean, like, would you mind going deeper into why you think that, Tamsin?
So basically, you guys are like giving the steps of what to do as an operator, like how to look at their business, how to find a creator, how to know if you're aligned with the creators.
Right. Yeah.
So
And you
that's why
need
I
to know
think that
those things. You'd need to know those things to create the SOP, which is why we're going like it. I know that like it seems like we're kind of going off on a tangent, but this background info, like I showed in the Blitz team SOP, like you gotta find your team and then you gotta learn how to be a part of a team. And then as you work as a team, that's how you win the Blitz. So here it's like we need to know the basics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, this isn't something just for an operator. Like, if you're the creator or if you're creating any type of SOP for your organization or whatever it may be, you have to be able to identify these things, whether you're an operator or not, because that's just how you go about figuring out what it is that you need for the business. And so it's not something that's like exclusively for an operator. If you're a creator and you want to delegate something, or you need to delegate something within your business, this is essentially the process that I go through in order to go about and do that. But so while you're breaking down the steps, and if you guys have any other questions or anything throughout this, feel free to interrupt me, and we can go over those so that it's nice and clear. Yeah, I think it's working now. No, I don't know what's up with it, but we can't properly hear it.
You sound like you're underwater. You
There's,
sound like super far away.
yeah. You can write it as well if you'd like.
How does this keep happening?
We need to get Jen a new mic. All right. But yeah, feel free to interrupt or stop me at any moment with any questions. And so then it would be okay, what are the steps? And so, for example, it's like, and even like things that you would think are like obvious, like, I don't know, I, at least for some reason, I tend to put on like a nice like collared shirt or something on sales calls. Like, I guess I just feel like I inspire more trust. And so I'd like write down all these little details of, okay, and again, all of these are like examples of like breaking down the steps so you guys can get an idea for like how to break this down. But so or just saying like dressed with a collared shirt and look professional. Then it can be like have water and notes with you, like breaking it down to a level where you think might be like dumb, but you want to have all these little details because at the end of the day, those are the processes that you've already, like tested, tried, and have worked. And of course, it's not saying that they like have to absolutely follow like to the T, but it helps give a really, really deep outline of, okay, this is everything that goes on. Then, of course, preparing for each specific call beforehand. And so it's like reading the notes from the lead to get an idea, of who they are, maybe if they like filled out a form to apply to that call. This is all going to depend, of course, on the specific systems and structure that you have within the business, but you guys get the idea of, okay, you just want to break down absolutely everything. And so this is essentially the bulk of what you end up putting into the SOP. And so you make your list and then you break it down in a way and structure it in a way on the SOP so that anyone who like looks at it is able to understand, okay, so this is, you know, a brief overview of how all of this works. These are like some resources. This is what he does like besides the actual steps. And then here are the steps. And then, for example, with the closer example, if you have them fill out a form at the end of the day, giving like a summary of what KPIs they hit, etc. It's all in here so that they know exactly what it is that they need to do in this specific role. Does that make sense? Yeah? Can I get thumbs up or something?
All good.
Perfect. And then of course, you know, as time goes on, you also want to test this because, you know, there might be things that you miss. There might be things that change as time goes on. And so you want to make sure that you're updating these. This is why it's also important, like, not to overdo it with the SOPs, because if you have like an SOP for like absolutely everything, like this is how you wash your hands in the business, like it's going to become too much. And having to like try and constantly be updating all of these all the time becomes a lot. And so you want to try and make sure you have those ones that are essential. And so, you know, for those specific roles and needs that you know you're going to need these for, because you know you're going to need to have that extra delegation or build out that team more, and focusing on these and making sure to keep them up to date, and also polishing them. If you see that, you know, that when my closers were following this SOP, you know, sales went down, but then I switched up these things and things went up a bit again. Like all of those things, keeping track to make sure that it's always as optimal as possible and getting that feedback from the people doing them as well, so that you can try and see where you can improve it. And so for this, it's just like really polishing, improving based on feedback. Okay. And then yeah, I'd say those are the main pillars that I would include. And for these, again, it's just, oh my goodness, I didn't have, I don't know what's up with this formatting today. I'm sorry. And so again, it's like making sure that the SOP provides optimal performance in the roles. And again, this is just going to be based on trial and error, saying like, okay, I keep continuing to identify those like problems and roadblocks within the process, and then figuring out a solution and including it in there. And so a lot of that's going to be based on feedback as well. So yeah, would you add anything else to that? Yeah, or
No, I think that's pretty good for SOP. What would you guys add to this, if you thought of anything?
I would add a testing procedure to really know what kind of things are optimal and what kind of things are just to make it complete. Because I think if you only want to focus on the essentials, which is quite, yeah, it's good to focus on the essentials and not the nice to haves. When you do everything based on feedback, then you have a lot of nice to haves maybe, because people are different, and that is sometimes, yeah, difficult to follow then the steps when you learn it firsthand. And I would add a testing procedure, and this is starting from the end, and then build it from the end, or test it from the end. And what is the most essential step you have to take to make the next step, and you ask this until you are at the beginning. Is that anyhow understandable? So it's like a staircase, and you start from the finish line when you want, and you ask which step is the most essential to reach this this finish line, and then you put this into your list, and then you ask again, and what is the essential step or the most essential step to reach this point, and then you put this into the line, and you ask until you are at the beginning actually, and then you have your essentials really, and you can put every other things that you might have added to the list as troubleshooters, but not the essentials. Is that understandable what I say here? Because I have it in my mind.
I understand most of it. So you're saying like just working backwards on the SOP.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. Yeah.
Where would you put that? You would think like as you're creating the SOP, you would do it that way, or like?
Yeah, I would do that when I'm trying to improve, or when I'm in the mode of improving the SOP. Then one last step would always be to test it backwards, to see, okay, which are the essentials that have to be fulfilled, and which are the things that are just troubleshooters. Does that make sense? Is that helpful?
Yeah, it's perfect sense.
That makes sense. At the end of the day, there's like several ways of going about that last step. And that's why I personally believe it's also really important that you yourself understand the process that you're telling other people to go through. Because if you don't know what the steps are, like for example, you know you want a closer, but you've never really done any sales yourself or tried any of it, it's going to be really hard for you to know what those steps are in order to, share that with people. But this is a really good method for once you do know, to just get that like extra feedback from the people that you're delegating the tasks to understand, like, so that you can see what the most essential ones are. But with all of the improving and feedback and data on which to constantly improve the SOP, there's many ways of going about it, and so one side of that will be, the feedback, and of course you as the person who knows what that process is like, you'll be able to differentiate, what it is that is actually important and what, maybe isn't really needed based off of that feedback. You can just filter through that. And then of course the data of, okay, if when I was doing all of the sales myself, we had, let's say, a 30% close rate, but then now that I changed it and delegated it with SOPs and everything, it like dropped to 20%. That shows me, okay, I need to improve this a bit more. And so you dive into what it is that maybe that roadblock that you're not able to, transmit to maintain at least that 30%, and then going from there. But so all of it's going to be, a lot of testing constantly. I don't feel like it's something that you like would do once, and then once it's good, you like leave it. Like your processes are probably always going to be evolving to a certain extent, and so it's just something that you're always going to try and want to stay on top of.
Yeah, but I only say that because from my experience, that the processes, they gain a lot of fluff that is not necessary. And the more things you try to explain or give people who have to execute them, the more mistakes can be made. So, well, I'm always asking how to really cut the fluff and really see what is essential and what is necessary, even after a long time of testing things or developing things. It's really necessary to really throw away all the things that are or making it distinguishable.
Yeah, and that's great. Like things get so overcomplicated and long and complex so easily. So I love that you have that top of mind. All right. Anyone else have any other questions or things they'd like to add? Mhm. Everything clear? So everyone is able to create a perfect SOP for what they want to or need to delegate?
Okay. Now, back to what I was saying before. You can add a point as prioritization. Yeah, you can
Wait, what was the question?
he said to add the point as prioritization.
Add her point as prioritization.
So back to what I was saying, like at the beginning of the call, is SOPs are great. They're great for going into detail. They're great for making sure that the processes that need to happen in a specific order are happening in those specific orders. But there's a SOP overwhelm that happens in a lot of different businesses. It's a very common issue with operators where they create SOP after SOP after SOP for everything, rather than hiring people that can do their jobs properly. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow in more detail, but I do want to discuss it here, is make sure that that detail that Santi was going into is used sparingly, is used for things that need to happen that nobody's going to know, even the best. Like say it's specific to only your organization. Say the creator only wants it this way, then you would put it in the SOP. But if it's something like, oh, here's how to schedule posts, you need to just focus on like getting people who can learn how to do that on their own, right? You need to hire people that are, again, able to do their jobs properly. Because, and the reason for this is that if you have SOP after SOP, no matter how much detail you go into, even if you have an SOP for what you think is everything, there's still many things that will need to have an SOP created for them. And so if a team member that you hire and is onboarded on all of these SOPs ends up in a situation that isn't on the SOP, they're gonna be shit out of luck. They're not gonna know what they're not gonna know what they're supposed to do. And so they're gonna freeze up and it's gonna slow the entire organization down. You want humans on your team, not robots. Does that make sense? We all following? Cool. So these last few minutes, just want to open it up a little bit more for any questions. I know Abdikim and Mignon, you guys showed up a little bit later in the call. Abdikim, this is your first, actually it's both of your guys' first times on Flight Deck. So if you guys have any questions about what this is or operators, etc.
Yes. Can I ask you if I want to launch a spiritual community? I can use this SOP.
Yeah. So
an SOP. I don't understand what is something. What means SOP? Is it some words?
SOP means standard operating procedure.
Standard
So,
operating. Okay. How to proceed with new followers or new members of your community?
yeah,
And,
for anything, for any
for
task.
anything. Okay.
Yeah, so anybody can create these, even you as the creator for your community. But we're talking about this specifically for operators who are the people that normally create things like these, while you focus on, say, the marketing or whatever you feel like you want to focus.
I started recently a YouTube channel,
Nice.
and I think it's helpful for also for YouTube. I think. And what is the difference? I don't know if it's properly a question. Um, what is the difference between YouTube and this cool community to create here content?
Yeah, so creating on school and creating on YouTube are different because they're different platforms and different audiences. So a lot of times when you're posting on YouTube, you're trying to reach a larger pool of people because there are billions of people on YouTube. Whereas school is a smaller platform, but there's still an audience here that you can reach out to. That's really the only difference. A lot of people post on, like, they'll post the same video that they posted on YouTube, they'll post it on school as well.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. Those are great questions. Yen? Nothing yet. What do you think is the best skill an operator can develop? That is a great question. I would say communication. Being able to communicate with your creator, because the creator needs to have an overview of what's going on in the business to make sure that nothing is like under the surface, like about to blow up in their face. So as the operator, you need to make sure that every link in the chain is healthy. It's not going to break anytime soon, because if one domino falls, all of them fall, and the creator's not going to be too happy. So yeah, what's up?
Yeah, one question. For example, with these SOPs, I asking you because I know it's gonna be different for each creator or owner. Like they gives you like the option when who to hire or the people that you choose to delegate as an operator, because maybe the owner is gonna be like, oh no, just tell me what do you need and I will look it for it. And I think other ones can tell you like, sure, look for one, let me know. And yes, like if you're gonna delegate, like explain why, yes, why you want to delegate and what are you gonna do to delegate. Or how
So you,
that.
Can you try and rephrase the question a little bit? I didn't catch that really well.
Yeah, because for example, on in the SOP, you mentioned to delegate, right?
Mhm.
But you're gonna delegate to new people that we will say, for example, to the creator, like, oh, we need an extra closer, an extra salesperson, or like I can ask for that person, or maybe the creator can say like, look for that person by your own, for example. Like, can be
So,
different.
so as you mentioned, this is going to be like very different depending on the situation that you're in. For me personally, and this goes along with what we always say of your goal is to save the creator as much time. So for me, I'm the one that like looks for the team members, goes through the whole hiring thing. I'm fortunate enough to in general know people, in this space. And so whenever I feel like I need to hire something or even just like advice for any aspect of the business, I have like friends and people I know that I can go to. And so for my first hires, which I'm in the process of right now, it's like, okay, who do I trust? Who do I know are good at what they do? And of course, it's all based on the problems that you identify in the business as well. And so you start there, and then I just reach out to them, and then I just let my creator know, like, hey, I have a couple of guys that I'm going to be adding to the team, and he again, like I believe I explained this in the last call as well. This is going to depend a lot on the type of operator that you are as well. I'm kind of like spearheading everything with my creator, and so I essentially make almost all of the decisions and just run them by him. But for other operators, if it's more of like just managing, overseeing everything, it might be a little bit different. But so yeah, there's no like specific set in stone way of doing it. If your creator knows someone that he believes would be good and everything, and you get to know him and stuff, and it looks good, sure. But again, that's going to be something that's going to vary quite a lot. I personally rather just take the lead with it, be like, okay, this is our team and everything. Of course, run everything by the creator, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Yeah. Yeah. I'll just kind of confirm that sometimes, like, uh, you get kind of lost sometimes when it's kind of like a lot of information. So it's like, okay, just let's get clear this. That's all.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course.
Any other last minute questions, comments, concerns? Nicholas is good. That's good. Again. There's still nothing. You just muted yourself. You
Yeah.
muted. You muted on Google Meet.
Still
Not,
All right, DM me and I'll answer your question. All right, sounds good.
no, I feel so sorry for Jen. Oh my goodness.
Okay, well, bye, guys.
See
Thank
you
you for
guys
joining.
tomorrow.
Hope
Thank
you
you for
enjoyed.
joining.
bye,
Yeah.
team. Have a good day.
Well, thank you.